Hey guys, and welcome to the Fish Room. I'm Rachel O'Leary and it's time for a Tuesday tip. Today we're going to talk about tannins. Now I know that for a lot of you blackwater tanks are not the most popular. The water is stained either yellow or brown, but the reality is that almost all naturally occurring bodies of water have these dissolved organic compounds from things like fallen leaves or driftwood or things like that, and they all break down to produce these tannins and humic compounds that are actually really beneficial to our fish for a lot of reasons. Now, not only do a lot of species of fish live and breed in these conditions, but the compounds themselves can actually have a lot of really beneficial properties. They're naturally antibacterial, they're naturally antiparasitic, and they bolster the immunity of our fish. In addition to that, as the various things like leaves and pods and wood break down, they produce great food for fry and infusoria, as well as other microorganisms that grow on the decaying matter. Now, I totally get that yellow water is not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's important for us to look at it with a little bit more critical of mind. Now, there's a lot of different products and a lot of different things you can use in your aquariums in order to produce this tea stain environment. And although it is a matter of preference, I think that you will be surprised at how beautifully, especially South American fish, will color up if kept in these environments. Now, there's a lot of different things that we can use. One of the most popular, and I've done a video before on these, on catappa leaves or Indian almond leaves. I'll put a link to that, and if you haven't watched it, I really encourage you to do so because there's a lot of information in there. That's probably one of the most popular sources of tannins in the aquarium, other than the most popular, which is driftwood. But there's a lot of different things available on the market, things like pods and nuts and various leaves, etc., which can really help promote a natural breeding environment for our fish. Now, in my fish room, for the most part, I use coconut huts, I use almond leaves, banana leaves, oak leaves, maple leaves, mulberry leaves, as well as all kinds of driftwood and things like alder cones. Now, all of these things take some getting used to. Our aquariums don't have identical parameters, so there's not a really great formula as to how much you should use. There are some ways to control the amount of tannins as well as still providing these benefits for our fish. There's several methods for using these. You can create a tea. In fact, a really popular blackwater tea for our aquariums is called rooibos, and this I picked up at my grocery store. And you can simply brew a tea. I like to make it nice and dark, almost coffee colored, and then you can add it into your aquarium. Now, this does not alter the chemistry of the aquarium, but it still provides that nice, rich tannin environment. And it's a really great way if you don't want to alter your chemistry, but you want the look, to create it. Now, there's a lot of you, I'm sure, that want the benefits of adding all of these humic compounds without the discoloration, and you can do that as well. You can simply boil your leaves, your wood, or whatever to remove the vast majority of the tannins. And while that also removes a lot of the benefits, it doesn't get rid of them entirely, and it still provides that natural environment for our fish. Now, there's all kinds of studies done on the benefits of these items to our aquariums. They bolster immunity, they encourage growth, they encourage breeding, they can increase the lifespan of our fish, among the other antibacterial, antiparasitic properties that I mentioned before. Now, that doesn't mean that leaves can be used in place of a more formal treatment if your fish are really ill, but what it does mean is that sort of providing this environment and these substances in our aquarium can help our fish fight off disease that they may otherwise become susceptible to. Now, as I mentioned, the chemistry in our aquariums can be affected by these, so it's really recommended that you add them in small doses and build up to the chemistry that you want. All of these things can, over time, reduce pH, but it's not likely you're going to have a massive problem unless you add a whole lot. Now, this does raise the question, though, of how can we do water changes with our tap water without getting pH swings in our aquarium? And there's a few things that you can do. Some people would use RO to match the the chemistry in our aquarium. You can also pre-treat water in something like a tote or a trash can with your botanicals, matching it to your aquarium to do your water changes. Or you can simply do small volume, more frequent water changes, which is what I usually do in my fish room. I see some of the best color, best breeding, and just healthiest fish in my aquariums that utilize a lot of these botanicals. As always, I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section down below what kind of botanicals you use. And let me know as well if you'd like to see the preparation of some of the various things I use for our aquariums. For the most part, I do not boil them. I simply give them a soak, and that's mainly so that they sink instead of float. And just a quick reminder, I'm going to be in Winnipeg, Manitoba to speak to the aquarium club there in a couple of weeks. Now, you do have to be a member, but it's not expensive, and they have the information on their website. I'll put a link to that below.